Welcome, dear children, to today's session in physics. Today, we are starting with our new chapter, that is electrostatic potential and capacitance. In the previous chapter, we were discussing about charges and fields. Electric field, we were discussing. Force also we discussed, and those two quantities, what we discussed in the previous chapter, they were what type of quantities? Vector type of quantities. Now, in this chapter, again electrostatic, that means charges which are stationary, that's what we are again considering. So in that case, two more physical quantities we will come across. They are electric potential and electrostatic potential energy, which are scalar quantities. So that's what in the beginning or in the first part of the chapter we will be discussing. So let's move on to a better discussion on this topic. Last year, we have studied about gravitational force and gravitational field we've studied. So at that time, we have already mentioned that gravitational force is a type of conservative force. So when I say conservative force, you just recollect what do you mean by conservative force. Conservative force means if a force is conservative force, a work done against the conservative force will be stored as potential energy. Or if the work done against the conservative force or against any force is stored as potential energy, we call that force as conservative force. And examples of conservative force, we studied gravitational force, spring force, etc. Okay, so what do you mean by that? I will say what we discussed last year. So the thing is this: in order to lift an object, a body, that means an object of mass m, a body, or consider a body of mass m, so that body, it is to be, so suppose this is an object of mass m, it is to be lifted through a height h. That work done in doing this, that is force into displacement, we studied. Here, how much is the force in lifting a body of mass m? That force is mg, and that distance, suppose we write as the height h, so mg into h, that is mgh, and this work done against the gravitational force is stored as its potential energy, and that's what we call as gravitational potential energy. We call it as gravitational potential energy, represented by U. This is what we did last year, and we stated some properties of gravitational or not gravitational field, that is conservative force. When a body is acted upon by a conservative force, the work done by that conservative force or work done against any conservative force do not depend on the path followed. It depends only on initial and final position. Okay, that is a property. And we already mentioned around a what closed path, the net work done will be equal to 0. Okay, and a force is said to be conservative if we can write the force as the negative gradient of a quantity called u, or if you can write it as this form, F is equal to minus du by dx, that force is said to be conservative. You can refer to the chapter work power energy. In that chapter we have already studied all these things. Conservative force. Okay, now what I said is gravitational force is a conservative force. Okay, in the same way this electrostatic force is a conservative force. To reach at that point only I mentioned about conservative force. Okay, so what type of force is this electrostatic force? Electrostatic force is a conservative force. So what all properties we mentioned for conservative force, it is applicable for electrostatic force also. So work done against the electrostatic force or work done by the electrostatic force, both are independent of path followed, and it depends only on initial and final positions. Okay, and the all other properties, they are same. So that energy, that means work done against the electrostatic force, will be stored as potential energy. That point also is very important. I have already told you, if you are doing any work against a frictional force, that work will not be stored as potential energy. So only the work done against a conservative force will be stored as potential energy. So electrostatic force is a conservative force, and the work done against that conservative force will be stored as potential energy, and that potential energy we call as electrostatic potential energy. So that's what we are going to discuss now.
Now, as we discussed, a gravitational force is a conservative force, and work done against the gravitational force will be stored as potential energy. Now, let's consider a body lifted through a height h. So, when it is lifted through a height h, force is to be applied against the gravitational force, and the work done by this applied force against the gravitational force will be stored in the form of potential energy. When this body is released, its potential energy decreases and kinetic energy increases by an equal amount, but the total energy of the body remains constant. This is because gravitational force is a conservative force. The way the gravitational force between two masses m1 and m2 is a conservative force, the electrostatic force between two charges, stationary charges, is a conservative force. Now consider two bodies of masses m1 and m2 separated by a distance d. The gravitational force between the two masses is given by F is equal to g m1 m2 by d square, where g is the universal gravitational constant and its value is 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. So here the force between the two bodies, it is inversely proportional to square of the distance. Now, according to Coulomb's law, the electrostatic force between two stationary charges Q1 and Q2 separated by a distance d is given by F is equal to K into Q1 Q2 by d square. Here K is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Here also, the force between the two charges is directly proportional to 1 by d square or inversely proportional to square of the distance between the two charges. So these two forces, both gravitational force and electrostatic force, are inversely proportional to square of the distance between the two bodies. So these two forces are said to be inverse square laws, means the forces are inversely proportional to square of distance. The work done against the gravitational force will be stored as gravitational potential energy. In the same way, work done against the electrostatic force will be stored in the form of electrostatic potential energy in the charge in the presence of electric field.
Electrostatic potential energy is defined as the work done in bringing a charge. So who is doing work? The external force. So work done by the external force in bringing a charge Q from infinity. So from infinity, the charge is brought to a point. Okay, suppose we call that point P. At that point, there is an electric field. So the work done by an external force in bringing a charge from infinity to a particular point in the electric field is called as what? Electrostatic potential energy. Okay, so external force is doing work. So that external force, of course, it should be equal to the force between the electrostatic force which is acting there. Because whenever we mention about the movement of the charge, that charge should be moving without any acceleration. There should not be any acceleration. The charge should be moving without any acceleration. So in order to bring that charge from infinity to this point without any acceleration, against the for electrostatic force, how much work this external force is doing, that work is termed as electrostatic potential energy. Okay, so our assumption is this: at infinity, the electrostatic potential energy of any charge is taken to be 0. The electrostatic potential energy of any configuration at infinity is taken to be 0. So what I mentioned now is only the term electrostatic potential energy. The next term what we are going to discuss is electrostatic potential, or simply electric potential. Electrostatic potential or electric potential, that is the next term. Okay, in the same way as we define gravitational potential, we can define electric potential. So electrostatic potential energy is the work done in bringing any charge Q from infinity to that point. Okay, so electrostatic potential is the work done in bringing unit positive charge. Okay, work done in bringing unit positive charge from infinity to a particular point in the electric field. That work done is called as electric potential. So electrostatic potential energy and electric potential both are different. So what is electric potential? It is the work done in bringing unit positive charge from infinity to a particular point in the electric field. That work done is called as what? Electric potential. Now let's discuss the SI unit of both. This being energy, it has the unit joule. And this is work done to bring unit positive charge. That means work done per unit charge. So the unit is joule per coulomb, and that is called as volt. So the SI unit of electrostatic potential or electric potential is volt, and 1 volt is equal to 1 joule per coulomb. So these are the SI units. Okay, so what we have to learn is these two terms, electrostatic potential energy and electric potential. Now we will discuss potential due to a point charge. So what is the potential produced by a point charge? That's what we are going to discuss. So we will obtain an expression for electric potential from the definition of electric potential. What is the definition of electric potential? It is the work done in bringing unit positive charge from infinity to a particular point in the electric field. Okay, so first of all, there should be an electric field. To bring a charge, that means unit positive charge, from infinity to that particular point, we need to find. So first of all, we have to consider a charge. Okay, so we have a charge Q. Suppose this is the charge Q, whose potential we need to find. Suppose we are going to find the potential due to this charge Q at a point P here. Okay, so for that, how we should consider? So this is the point P. So how we can derive the expression for this potential? First of all, we should assume the charge to be brought from infinity to this point. So from infinity, how much amount of charge is to be brought? Plus 1 coulomb. Okay, plus 1 coulomb charge is brought from infinity to this particular point P. So in doing so, how much work is done? That's what we need to find by the definition. Okay, so how will we find that work done? See, to find work done, we know the expression is force into displacement, or F dot D, if the force is a constant force. But here you think about the force, whether this charge experience any force, the positive 1 coulomb. Yes, because there is a positive charge kept here. So because of the presence of this positive charge, this 1 coulomb which is brought, it will experience a force of repulsion. Against that force of repulsion, force is exerted in this direction and the charge is kept at the point P. Got it? So that force, as it come close, that means as the charge is coming close, 1 coulomb charge, as it is coming close to this capital letter Q, that force is increasing. that force of repulsion increases, means that force is not a constant force. So we cannot directly use this equation. Instead, we will use which one? Work done by a variable force. How will we find work done by a variable force? You need to apply the method of integration. By the method of integration, we can find the work done by a variable force. So work done by a variable force is integral, some limit will be there, then we will find f dot dx like that, or f dx we will find that, like that we discussed last year. The same way we will do it here. Okay, so first we will write the expression for a small work done in displacing this 1 coulomb charge along its path from infinity to the point P. That means in this path we will consider a very small displacement, and for that particular displacement, what is the work done? That expression we will write. Okay, so consider such a small displacement represented by dr dash. So we are considering a point here which is at a distance r dash from the charge. R dash. Okay. Now, at that position, in displacing it through a very small distance dr dash. So, being at r dash, that 1 coulomb charge is displaced through dr dash. Got it? Being at r dash, at a distance r dash, at that position, it is displaced through a very small distance dr dash. Okay, so at that, for that dr dash, what is the work done? That is what we represent as dw. So what is dw? It is the work done in displacing positive 1 coulomb charge when it is at this position. Let's call that position as C, S. Okay, so being at S, to displace it through dr dash, how much work is to be done by the external force? That work done we write as dw. Okay, so what is our assumption for this dr dash? What distance? For that much small distance, that force we assume to be constant. In that small distance, the force is constant. So when we write the expression for that work done, we can simply multiply force and displacement. You will get the work done. Got it? So that's how we will do. So dw is equal to F into dr dash, because dr dash is the displacement there. Now our question is, what is this F? What is this F here? It is the external force. So I am writing it as F external. Now let's see what is this external force. So as I told you, as the charge is brought, the charge will be experiencing a repulsive force because of the presence of this plus Q charge here. Okay, so against that force, we are applying the external force. So that external force should be equal and opposite to the force of repulsion experienced by this 1 coulomb charge. Got it? So that 1 coulomb charge experiences a force of repulsion. Opposite to that means what? It experiences repulsive force in this direction. So external force or applied force should be in this direction. Got it? And what is its magnitude? It should be equal to the repulsive force experienced by this, because now we are assuming the charge to be brought without any acceleration. So in that, what force it experiences, what repulsive force it experiences, the same force is to be applied in the opposite direction. So we can write that F external is equal to minus of Coulomb force. Fc I am writing, that is Coulomb force between plus Q and plus 1 Coulomb charge when this 1 Coulomb charge is at a distance r dash. So how much will be that Coulomb force? You can use Coulomb's law, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Here the charges involved are Q and 1 Coulomb. So Q into 1 divided by that distance is what? It is assumed to be at a distance r dash. So r dash square. So that is the force with a negative sign. So that negative sign shows what? That direction. Okay, so F external is minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q by R dash square. Now you can substitute this in the expression for dW. So our expression for dW, it becomes dW is equal to minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q by R dash square into what you have dr dash. So this is the expression for that work done for displacing the charge through a distance dr dash. So to find the total work done, what we need to do is, so this dw is the work done in displacing the charge through dr dash when the charge is at S. Okay, so in displacing the charge from infinity to the point P, that point P, it is at a distance R from the charge Q, the point P is at a distance R. So from infinity to the distance R, we are displacing positive 1 coulomb charge. So for that displacement, we need to find the total work done. So it is very simple. The total work done in displacing the charge or in bringing the charge from infinity to the point P is integral infinity to R, from infinity to R. So that's how we write the limit, integral infinity to R. What we have to write, dW. For the small displacement dr dash, the work done is dW. So we have to integrate this dW from infinity to R. That's all. Now you substitute for dW and integrate. So by substituting, we have integral infinity to R minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q divided by R dash square into dr dash. So now taking the constant terms and all outside, we will have that is equal to minus also will take outside, Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into integral infinity to R 1 by R dash square dr dash. This is our step. Now we have to integrate this and apply the limit. So for integrating this, we have to use the rule integral x raised to n dx is equal to x raised to n plus 1 by n plus 1. What is the rule we have to use? Integral x raised to n dx is equal to x raised to n plus 1 by n plus 1. So here in the place of n, in the place of x we have r dash, and in the place of n you have what? 2. So by integrating this, we'll have W is equal to, so I'm writing here W is equal to minus Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into, what will we get by integrating? R dash raised to minus 2. That's how you can write. So n becomes minus 2. So the result of integration becomes what? R dash raised to minus 2 plus 1 divided by minus 2 plus 1. What is minus 2 plus 1? Minus 1. So it becomes R dash raised to minus 1 by minus 1. Or it is the same as minus 1 by R dash. So the result of integration of this, it becomes minus 1 by R dash. So I'm writing it here, that is minus 1 by R dash. Now what are the limits? Infinity and R. So this is how we write. Now you can apply the limit. First apply the upper limit, then lower limit, and those values are to be subtracted. All these things we have discussed last year, that integration, how to apply the limits and all. So we have minus Q by 4 pi epsilon 0 into, first you apply the upper limit. So when you apply the upper limit, in the place of R dash you have to put R. So it becomes minus 1 by R. Then when you put infinity, so minus of minus, it becomes plus. When you put infinity, it becomes 1 by infinity. So this is what you have. Okay. Now the final result it becomes the equation. So I will write it here. So our expression for potential due to a point charge, it becomes, or that is the work done, it becomes minus q by 4 pi epsilon 0 into minus 1 by r. Because the term inside the bracket 1 by infinity, it is equal to, this term is equal to 0. That term is 0. So work done becomes this. So minus into minus, it becomes plus. So in short, the expression for work done, it is q by 4 pi epsilon 0 r. And by definition, this work done is called as electric potential. So what is the expression for electric potential? Electric potential is represented by the letter V, and V is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 R. So this is the expression for potential due to a point charge. Of course, potential is a scalar quantity. There is no direction to be expressed. Okay, so potential due to a point charge Q at a distance R from it is Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 R. So this shows the expression for potential. Okay, so likewise, that means when Q is a positive charge, that positive charge produces a positive potential, and if Q is negative, that negative charge produces a negative potential. So depending whether it is a positive charge or negative charge, the potential also will be positive or negative. Take care, unlike a field and force, when we put the negative and positive sign, I used to say that stands for direction, but here it doesn't show any direction. If it is positive, it means it is positive potential, and negative, it means it is negative potential. So that is the expression for potential due to a point charge.
Now this graph shows the comparison between electric field and electric potential due to a point charge. Since the electric field is inversely proportional to R square, it decreases more steeper than potential. Potential is inversely proportional to R. So that comparison is shown in this graph. This graph is very important. Now only this much for today. Thank you.